Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Film Snobbery Live. I am your host, the film snob Nic Baisley. We're back for another great week. I am joined, as usual, by my co-host, Gary Ploski, director of such films as Stuck Like Chuck and, well, Stuck Like Chuck. So, we've got a great show for you guys today. Hi, Jerry. All right, so we've got a great show for you guys today. First thing I want to talk about is I've got a lot of stuff going on. First thing I want to do is I want to have you guys, if you haven't already, I would like for you guys to go and I would like for you guys to check into your Miso app on either your iPhone or your Android if you haven't already. And if you don't have a mobile device that you can check into Miso on, you can actually go over to www.gomiso.com and you can check into Film Snobbery Live there. So, let them know that everyone's watching. I've already checked in myself, and we're good to go there. And hopefully everyone. Ryan, did you check in?
I did.
Ryan checked in, so no excuses. So you can get them on the go, and you can get them at your desk. So check them out, www.gomiso.com. Check in with us. It's awesome. So we've got a great show for you guys today. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. One of the first things I want to talk about is the show kind of got a little off track from what I thought it was going to be, but no big deal. We're just going to roll with it. Our first guest, David Gertz, hasn't called in yet, so hopefully what we're going to do in order to kind of remedy that situation, we got two great guests that have stepped up, and we're going to talk about their film. It's currently they're currently crowdfunding it over at Kickstarter.com. Don't tell IndieGoGo. No, but no, over at Kickstarter.com, and you can. Their project is called Rising Star, and we actually have their pitch clip that we're going to show you guys first for their movie. So, Ryan, go ahead and why don't you roll the pitch clip, and then when we come back, we'll be talking with Marty Lang and Gary Ploski of Rising Star. Go ahead, Ryan. We'll be right back.
My name is Marty Lang, and I'm the writer-director of Rising Star. This is a project that I started working on about a year and a half ago with a couple friends of mine. It started as an idea for a movie to be set in Hartford and kind of grew into kind of an interesting story about the recession and how people are having trouble with work and how people are having trouble combining a work life with passions that they have outside of work. Rising Star is a story about Chris, a 20-something in Hartford, Connecticut, who works as an insurance adjuster and has a love of astronomy. He works all the time, and when he finds out there's going to be layoffs at his company, he finds out he'll be working even more. He goes to a party that Friday night and meets Eliza, a woman who has as many passions as Chris has worries. She's a poet, a dancer, and she even makes her own clothes, but she has trouble holding a job down. Chris and Eliza spend the weekend together in Hartford, trying to figure out their new relationship and trying to figure out if it's easier to work to live or to live to work.
I really love the idea of touring Hartford. I only know a little bit about Hartford, so it feels like the script is actually, it's going to teach me about Hartford in ways in which I probably couldn't do on my own.
I really related to the character of Eliza because she, I can see a lot of myself in her, and I can see a lot of her in me, and so it made it really exciting to play a character who I feel like I really can relate to so well.
I very much like the fact that it deals with Hartford, and the fact that Hartford is an actual character in the film, not so much in a sense that it actually talks to you, but through the images you get to see the poverty, the culture.
There's a number of great locations in Hartford that we're hoping to use for Rising Star. The first of which is the Mark Twain House and Museum. Mark Twain is obviously a world-renowned writer and humorist, and I think having that location in the film will really center it for audiences. They'll be able to know exactly where they are, and it plays very well into where the characters are at that point in their lives too. We have the Connecticut Science Center on board as a location for the film. They've actually committed to also be the premiere site for the film when we premiere it in Hartford. They have a 200-seat theater, which is fantastic, and we're looking forward to playing it there for people. We'd like to shoot at Bushnell Park in downtown Hartford. We'd like to shoot at the Harriet Beecher Stowe House as well, which is right next door to the Mark Twain House in an area called Nook Farm. And there's also local businesses that we're talking with with the hopes of getting them on board to be locations in the film as well.
There are great locations to try to push, you know, the independent artist and get them going and get their career started, and there really is a love for that feel of, you know, come on, do it, do that original music, do that original screenplay, work and there's a sense of community which is lacking in a lot of places, and so happy to feel it in Hartford. You know, it's a community that gets together, that wants to work with each other, that wants to see each other build and succeed, and that's such an important aspect of getting independent arts off the ground.
One of the coolest things about Rising Star is actually the educational partnership that we formed with the R.J. Kinsella School for Performing Arts. This is a Hartford magnet middle school that offers all of its students training in dance, in music, and in theater. And what we're going to be doing is weekly filmmaking seminars for their 7th and 8th grade multimedia students. So leading up to the production of the film, 7th and 8th graders in Hartford are actually going to be learning how to make films themselves. And then when we shoot, they're actually going to be bringing these kids out on set with us so they can see the film being made. Our crew is actually going to be populated by graduates of a special workforce training program that the state of Connecticut runs. It's called the Connecticut Film Industry Training Program. And these jobs include sound people, camera people, locations people, art department people, script supervisors, all the jobs, all the crafts that are vital to make a film. The state of Connecticut actually trains residents to work in those jobs. So the people who've come out of this program will actually be able to work in those positions on the film, giving them a chance to get real-world experience before they go out and make their careers in the industry.
I think the most amazing thing for an artist is to feel that reciprocation and someone, you know, helping to push their project, and then you help them push their project, and just keep the creative juices flowing.
The fact that we've got people that want to donate their time, the fact that people want to donate their personal possessions is so exciting.
Any money you can give toward this film will greatly help, whether it's $1, $5, $10. And even if you can't give money, tell 2 or 3 of your friends about us.
Arts need to be supported, and if you're looking for a project that actually does a little bit more than that, we're working on a film that's incorporating education, economic development, tourism, all these different things for a major American city. And it's a city that you haven't really seen very much on film before. And I think this is an interesting story. I think it's a story that a lot of people can relate to. And I think it's a story that should be told. So I hope that Kickstarter patrons, you know, decide to help us out and help us make a really good movie.
I think you should follow us on Twitter. Should be a fan of us on Facebook. Spread the webpage around. It's not going to hurt. This is your way of contributing. Sharing. You don't have to comment. Don't worry about adding comments. You're involved by clicking like. You're involved by just telling a friend, a neighbor. You're involved in every way that's just saying digitally, this is cool. Go ahead and do that. We like that. Thanks.
Hey, we're back, folks. That was the pitch video. I know it was a little lengthy, but thanks for sticking with us. That was the pitch video for Rising Star. You can go check it out. Just search it out over at Kickstarter.com right now. I have 2 of the men responsible that you just saw in that pitch video with us tonight. I have Mr. Marty Lang and Gary Ploski. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Great to be here. Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you guys for both taking the time out to do the show, and well, I know it was a little bit of short notice, and also thank you guys for even less short notice bumping yourselves up to the top of the show for me.
Not a problem.
So what, you know, I ran into Gary at the Connecticut Film Festival, and he kind of had told me a little bit about Rising Star, but where did the idea, where did it really come from, and how did you guys get together on it?
Well, I can tell you guys, I actually Gary and I went to college together. When I was a freshman in college, I had met Gary, and he was one of the coolest kids in school, and I kind of hung out with him there for a while, and we stayed friends for a while and thought, once he started getting into acting and I started getting into filmmaking after college, we thought that we might be able to work on a film together, and this sort of kind of grew out of that. We had gone to New York to see a movie called Medicine for Melancholy at the IFC Center, and we both thought we could make a film similar to that, kind of a small-scale film, but set it in Hartford, Connecticut instead of San Francisco. And just kind of started from there, and started talking about different ideas about the recession and, how young people are having a hard time, working and finding time for passions that they have. And that all sort of kind of came together and turned into the film that we've got.
Yeah, and that sounds like almost like a very Kevin Smith way of kind of going about movie making. He went to, I think it was at the Angelica in New York City and saw Linklater's Slacker, and he was like, oh, I could do this. And then he went back to Jersey and made Clerks. You guys, it seems almost like kind of did the same thing. You went to New York, you ended up seeing a movie there, and that inspired you to take those ideas back to your home your hometown, your home state, and work there. Do you guys have any aspirations to I know Gary, you're an actor. Do you guys collectively have any aspirations to leave Connecticut for like New York or LA?
No, I'm staying in Connecticut, man. This is home.
I'm willing to travel. I've lived over in Japan. I'd love to work over there. If Europe is available, I'll go there as well. I'm game.
All right. So what you have a story that is really relevant right now as far as things that are it's inspired by the economic kind of depression that we're going through, the recession, etc. What was it difficult to write this movie as far as were you looking at this and going like, wow, this is kind of a downer? Did you find ways to make it as accessible to audiences as possible?
Well, I think the first thing that I had thought of as I was writing this was that I didn't want it to be a downer movie. I had originally thought I wanted to make this a comedy if I could, but I think that as I wrote it, it sort of became kind of like a light drama where there are definitely comedic moments. There are dramatic moments in it too. It deals with some harsh economic realities, absolutely, and I mean that's the time that we're living in right now. But I think the key to this film is that you can have you can find balance in your life, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a sad dramatic thing. There are some moments I open this film where people will be laughing out loud when they watch. It's just kind of a poignant story about what's going on in our country right now and how young people are kind of dealing with it and where they want to go from here.
Okay, and all right, so let's take it over to something a little bit that's really relevant to you guys right now. This Kickstarter campaign. First question I have is why Kickstarter over IndieGoGo or any other platform?
Over any other platform, I think it is between the two with Kickstarter and IndieGoGo. One of the major things that we already had in place was our affiliation with the IFP. So we have a nonprofit or arm established for Rising Star where IndieGoGo does provide that. Kickstarter, I'm familiar with. I know a number of campaigns that have been very successful, be growing faster and faster, and the tools that they have available just make a lot of sense to us with what was done.
Okay. And to let you know, the IndieGoGo does have an outlet for. No, actually, I believe they actually do have a partnership with. I don't know if it's with the IFP directly, but they actually do have some of those nonprofit arm kind of fiscally sponsored type of partners that they do work with. So in the future, if you decide to go that way, they do have that option. Maybe they didn't when you started your campaign though. That being said, so how did you guys arrive at the total number that you were looking to get? You were looking to get for the movie.
That was a bunch of dice that we just kind of rolled around, right, Marty?
Yeah. I mean, there are a number of projects that were in the time range that we had, between 45 and 60 days, and they've made anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000. So we kind of looked at, what's the mean for that. We realized that our time frame is a little bit quicker than some of these campaigns, so we tried to pick a number that was a little lower than that. Mm-hmm. And it also was a budgetary thing. We wanted to make sure that the amount that we wanted to raise would cover the core things that we would need to shoot the film. So, the crew that we would need to get the film shot, the equipment that we would need to make it, and then food for everybody so they can eat while we shoot. Those were kind of the factors in mind when we came up with our $15,000 number.
Do you guys already have a lot of the equipment and everything that you want to shoot this with? It looks like, in your pitch video, it looks like you have, you have some of your actors together. It looks like you might already have some equipment because you showed some scenes of some other productions and stuff. I mean, is that equipment that were on those available to you now?
Some of the equipment became available to us through friends of ours that we had worked on those other films with. The camera that we're actually shooting with is coming from a professor friend of mine. I teach part-time at Quinnipiac University in Hamden, Connecticut, and one of my fellow professors offered up her camera for us to use at an unbelievable discount. So that's kind of where that came from. As far as grip and electric and other things, some crew members are bringing things with them, and then we're still looking for other pieces right now.
Okay. Yeah, and it's definitely let people know that what you guys need. One of the things that I found on my end is that, when you do need something and you just ask, oddly enough, some of that stuff actually ends up just falling into your lap. And you guys are in a really good position because you're in between kind of Boston and New York. I mean, not saying that Connecticut doesn't have like a vibrant cultural scene, especially with film, but, I think that, especially being in, proximity to New York, your ability to probably, beg, borrow, and steal equipment and stuff is probably pretty good.
And the fact that we live in the independent film world means those skills are kind of inherent in us anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Now that being said, did you guys, if you had to pick, if you had to, like Marty, if you had to ask, to talk about Gary and say, like, what is his strongest skill besides as an actor? What's his greatest asset to a company? What would you say it would be? And Gary, I want you to actually go back and say the same thing about Marty once he's finished.
I think Gary's biggest asset is his ability to build community, and that goes from not only the online world, but also in real life, too. I think Gary is an unbelievably personable person. I think he's a really honest person, a really happy and vibrant person, and people gravitate to that. And I've seen it, with the work that he's done online, whether it's with our Twitter account, whether it's with getting people to come on a Kickstarter, or when we're just hanging out and friends that we have. And that's really, I really think that's his biggest strength, and I think we've seen it in a number of different places.
All right, Gary, it's your turn now.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, it's all you, man. Now, just think of this as an improv acting exercise.
It's pretty easy. Marty, if he's calling me, giving me these props, Marty is absolutely incredible. If you walk into Connecticut and you talk to people about filmmaking, and you say, do you know this really, really tall guy? They'll, oh yeah, Marty. Everyone in Connecticut knows who Marty is. He is described as a gentle giant by so many people, and it describes him. He is so easy to talk to. You meet him in a room, and you feel like your project or whatever you're talking about is the most important thing. He's not trying to get anything from you, and he's just trying to make film happen. And everyone just in Connecticut and outside of Connecticut just keeps gravitating to him. And then you've got this really amazing. He has this amazing ability to organize.
Mm-hmm.
He has produced so many times and knows who to talk to, when to talk to them, how to approach them, how to make sure that they're getting something out of it as well, so they're not being taken advantage of. He knows the industry inside and out. The dude just rocks.
Okay, well we just had, and that was a heartwarming moment from the cast and crew of Rising Star. So I just want to let everyone know, if you're not already following Rising Star on Twitter, you can do so, twitter.com/RisingStarMovie. You can also go check out more information about their flick over at www.risingstarmovie.com. Also, if you haven't, I believe you guys are on Facebook too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So find them on Facebook as well, the Rising Star Movie. I don't know, is it just facebook.com/Rising Star Movie?
You got it. Everything
Perfect.
online is Rising Star Movie, either .com or /Rising Star Movie.
And I like how you guys have like a little on your website. You have a little introduction movie like to the site, like a little PSA for the site, which is kind of cool. We actually toyed around with the idea of doing something similar, like, hey, if this is your first time here, you might notice over here you have this, and over here you have this. I always wanted to do something like that, never got around to it.
That's really cool. Thanks for the compliment. We did that outside of, was it the Panera, I think, Marty? We were on the street, and we just wanted to tell people what was going on with our website and try to explain who we were, because we're a video culture now. People don't read.
Yeah, that is true. And if anyone knows that better than anyone, it would be Mr. Jerry Cavallero, my co-host. He's had issues in the past with people reading his thing. Now, speaking of that, if you go to Kickstarter.com, you find the Rising Star project on there. What would you say makes your project unique and sets it apart from a lot of the other projects that are on there? And maybe even describe some of the perks. Give me and the audience a reason why they should give to the Rising Star movie.
I can give you a perfect example, and it was something that actually started today. We have an educational partnership with a performing arts middle school in Hartford, Connecticut. They're called the Arcade Consultant School. The video touched on that a little bit. This morning, we actually had our first class with their 7th and 8th grade multimedia students, and it was amazing. We were in there for an hour and a half. There were 4 of us from the movie that came down. I came down along with our other producer, Matt, and our assistant director and our wardrobe supervisor, and we spent time talking to these kids, explaining to them how movies are made. So this relationship is going to continue for about a couple months, where we're going to have weekly classes with them until we shoot next month. When we shoot, those kids are actually coming on set to watch us make the film.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I think that's a really unique thing that a lot of Kickstarter projects don't have, in the sense that it's an artistic project that combines an educational component with it too.
No, that's actually very admirable. I mean, I'm always a proponent of film education, and obviously the earlier someone can start, and especially with kids, it's great because their imaginations are already going a mile a minute. So yeah, the more you can kind of get them early and get them, not to sound like a crack dealer, but if you can get them hooked early, you'll have a customer for life. Yes, and my director over here he's miming, shooting up movies.
I'd say there's one of the things that people have been really, really happy responding to and having a good time laughing at is our awesome videos made by an actor and a producer. I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of those.
I haven't had a chance to check them out yet, but I tell the audience a little bit about what that's about.
Well, we want to give back to people and tell them how awesome they are, not just saying, hey, cool, thanks, via email. So one of our actors, Michael Barra, is a great actor, funny man, and he's been working with Matthew Finucci, who is our co-producer, and they've made a rap video, they've made the Awesomest Man in the World spoof, and a number of other films or other movies, and he's talking about how great our contributors are based on information that they give us. So some people are being really serious, and some people are being really, really silly. So we just tell them exactly how awesome they are based on how awesome they want to be.
All right. Now, and how did you guys determine the perk levels on your project?
You may have actually noticed that the numbers are a little bit weird. For example, $7, $9, $28, $14. We actually base them on information that relates to jobs. So our $14 is related to the 14.6 million people that are jobless in the U.S.
Ah, okay.
So we're trying to tie things into the information that relates to jobs in the U.S. and how difficult it is to try to get work, or how much someone is earning in a year, and just relating all those numbers together.
Oh, excellent. Now, what's so far been the greatest challenge you know, in the process of crowdfunding? I mean, did it involve a lot more work than you guys initially figured it would?
Marty, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I absolutely think the level of work is a lot higher than I thought it would be. And I had talked with other people who had gone through this process on Kickstarter. I don't know if you know Dave Brannon, who did Goodbye Promise. He's a friend of mine from high school, and I had talked with him before we got going with it. And he warned me, you know, this is something that you have to be on every single day, and you have to constantly be working it. And that kind of surprised me. But now I know, you know, and we all know, so we're putting in the work now. But that definitely.
I was going to give a heads-up learning lesson to it by way of a different type of campaign before we did this. So I knew I'd be up every single night and online every day doing this. Honestly, the one thing that I didn't anticipate is the level of stress that starts hitting you when you reach the absolute final end run. Yeah, it is incredibly stressful the last 6 days.
Yeah, I mean, you guys only have you know, what, a few or several days left, and you know, you guys are getting very close. I mean, you're over 70% funded at this point. Everyone out there who's in my audience, even if you give like $1 to these guys, it's definitely worth it. Gary's a great guy. If you've ever talked to him online, he's an awesome guy. I just met Marty so far. I like him because he looks like Michael Chiklis. But
oh my God, you're the first person who's ever said that. That's amazing.
I refuse to believe that I'm the first person who's ever said that.
I swear to God you are. That's great.
Yeah, Nick, you are.
So, you know, so even if you guys are giving these guys $1, hopefully more, hopefully 7 or 14 or whatever, you know, I would definitely, you know, this is definitely something I actually have. I've contributed to your film, I believe. I think I know I have. I just can't remember how much. So I've contributed, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is in this particular case. I want them to succeed, because if they don't, then I get to keep my money and they don't get any of it, and I don't like that. You know, not that I don't like keeping my money, but you know, I already made the effort and I filled out the thing and all that. I don't want to have to do all that again. So just go ahead and donate some cash to those guys. Go over to Kickstarter.com and just, you know, look for a Rising Star movie or Rising Star, and just, you know, do it there. And that being said, guys and girls out there, even if you don't have any money, or you know, you're just like, hey, now's not a good time for me, or hey, you know, I'm busy trying to fund my own film. There are other ways you can help, regardless of, you know, what platform you're using, IndieGoGo, Kickstarter, anything. You guys can go out there and, you know, you can share their story and their struggle on Twitter. You can retweet them. You can you know, share them on Facebook to your friends. You can join their mailing list and share that information as well. There's a lot of things that you guys can do to, you know, beyond just giving money. I mean, sometimes, you know, time is worth more than money. In this case, these guys actually have both time and money against them, so give them money. So you guys out there and in the audience and girls in the audience, yeah, if you guys help these guys out, I know that they'll greatly appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing. Gary's already been fairly successful. He did a web series as well. Gary, tell them a little bit about your web series.
You are too kind, Nick. The web series is called Cast the Curtain, and it actually documents the process of an actor, me, going from being cast in a show through the end process of the curtain. And I started it again in a second season, which is Cast the Curtain, and that's going to follow me through the process of being cast in a little-known film called Rising Star Movie. And I've been documenting it, and I'm going to edit it all together after we finish the film and release that to show people what an actor goes through behind curtains and on stage or in front of the camera.
Great.
Now, I'm honest. I'm really honest about mistakes I make and lessons to try and educate people so that actors get into this world know will have done things many times, will make, even though they've done it before.
And I think that that's really important. I mean, again, it goes back to the whole education thing. That's one thing that we here are really, we're really all about. I mean, half the reason why we do the show is so that people like yourself who are in the weeds and in the trenches, as it were, you know, can share your story and educate everyone else about what is really going on and what the process is really like, what you need to be prepared for, and I think that's I'm all for that. I think that's really good. So do you guys already have a whole? All right. So let's I'll play devil's advocate here. You guys get your funding. You make your movie. Do you guys already have it all planned out? How you're going to get it out there into the world? You're going to go the film festival route? Are you already kind of starting to get in touch with potential distributors or agents or anything like that to try to to make that process as easy as possible?
Well, I can tell you from the film end of it, Gary can talk a little bit about the online part of it. We're looking at a couple different options. Our affiliation with IFP allows us to get involved in yearly events that they have going on in New York City, and that can provide the film with more exposure prior to it being released. So I'm hoping that once we get it shot, we can get a rough cut of it done and possibly get involved with IFP's events next year, which could give us exposure to some of the major festivals, also distributors, so hopefully we can get a little bit of momentum before the film's actually finished. Once it is finished, we are looking to submit to the major film festivals. Where it'll premiere, don't really know, hopefully at a big one. But the state of Connecticut has a big stake in this film too, and we have some events actually planned with the city of Hartford along with this film as we're going through post. The Mark Twain House, one of our locations in the film, we're actually going to be having test screenings of the film there, along with the Connecticut Science Center and possibly the Bushnell Theater, where people from the city can come out and watch the film and give feedback on it as we're editing it. So once the film's actually done, a lot of people will have had a chance to give input on the film before it's done. And once it's finished, the different theaters in the city of Hartford have all committed to playing the film, and a number of festivals here in Connecticut have committed to screening it too once it's done.
Excellent. Now I'm going to go back to Gary for a second. I'm going to ask you, you and I, again, like I mentioned at the top of the show, we met at the Connecticut Film Festival. What was your, and now that it's just us two, we're alone, no one's watching this. What was your impression of that festival? I mean, do you look at that as being a festival that you would like to, submit your movie to, or is there anything in particular you look for in a festival when you're thinking about screening, something that you were in or something you've put time into there?
Yeah, it's going to sound really, probably surprising. That was the first film festival I've ever been to. My background is in theater, and I've been doing it for 10 or 11, almost 12 years. So working with Marty has actually brought me to the festival, or to the festival world, because I actually fought for that. My reason for being there was. I thought the festival wasn't as highly trafficked as it was the year before, from what I understand, so that was a little bit disappointing. Mm-hmm. But there were a number of screenings that were practically sold out.
Right.
So I do know that Connecticut has a strong support for small film. It's a matter of making sure everyone knows about the festival and knowing what's coming to Connecticut. I'd love for it to screen there because it's a really, really well-known festival in Connecticut.
Right, I agree. My impression of it was kind of the same. It did look a little less well-attended, but this year, but. Yeah, the quality of the movies that I saw were pretty good. A lot of good shorts. It made I thought the same thing of the Connecticut Film Festival this year as I thought of them last year, which was it was a really good festival for networking. If it makes you feel any better, Connecticut last year was the first film festival I ever went to as FilmSnobbery. It was the first time I'd ever gotten press credentials and gone to a film festival. So
very cool.
You and I have something in common in that we share, Connecticut popped our cherries, so to speak.
I totally do.
Yes, and so and then we went back for seconds. No, but yeah. So I mean, I agree. I felt that that Connecticut, as both a festival and as just that. The culture, it seemed like Connecticut has a very good film culture. People are welcoming. I had a good time. I had a really good time both this year and last year, and I look forward to doing it again next, June, probably June or April or something like that. It should be fun. So, but I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. Yeah, what was supposed to be 5 to 10 minutes turned into like 40. So thank you guys very much for sharing the stories that you guys did. Again, I want to remind everyone you can go over to www.kickstarter.com. You can go and find their project Rising Star there, make a donation. Please do that, because they only have a little bit of time left, and they're almost there. They're well past the 3/4 of the way mark, and every little bit helps. Also would like you guys to go over to www.risingstarmovie.com if you want to learn a little bit more about this project, this movie as well. You can follow this movie and its progress over at twitter.com/risingstarmovie. Gary and Marty are both on Twitter as well. You can look them up. He's twitter.com/Gary Ploski. And twitter.com/your Marty_Lang. Is that
right?
Excellent. So, okay, great. And, okay, so that's good. So, that'll cover it. And they are on Facebook as well. You just have to search them out, probably facebook.com/risingstarmovie. So, that's it. That's all the time we have for our good friends here, Gary Ploski and Marty Lang. Thank you guys again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, and good luck, and we'll definitely keep some tabs on you, maybe have you on again after the movie's finished.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Awesome, guys. So thank you very much, and I guess on that note, on with the show. So now that our other guest still hasn't shown up, right, Ryan? Nothing, huh? All right. Well, that's okay. It happens. So what we're going to do now, we're gonna kick it into a different level. We've talked about Kickstarter. Now we're going to talk about IndieGoGo, because it's time for our IndieGoGo Project of the Week. The IndieGoGo Project of the Week that I've chosen this week is called this is really cool. Love and Taxes is actually the way that they're funding they're doing their campaigns. I believe this is not their first campaign. They're actually doing and funding their movie in segments, which is kind of a good idea. So that way you can keep the overall number that you need to raise low, and you just run multiple campaigns. So you do one campaign for pre-production, one campaign for maybe this chunk of film, this campaign for another chunk. It's really got some good stuff. If you want to check it out, there's actually a really good pitch video that's up on there where one of the actors and the director or producers, all that kind of stuff, talk about the film. And it was just really well put together. It was something that I've actually wanted to talk about for a couple of weeks now, but I've just been like, they don't quite need the push yet. So I want to give them like the equivalent of the Colbert bump. I want to give them like the FilmSnobbery shove off the cliff. And hopefully they get them a couple bucks as well. I mean, I know guys and girls out there that it's really tough. Everyone seems like they've got a project and they're looking for money. But again, I have to stress that even if you cannot donate to these projects, helping them by getting the word out on their projects, retweeting them, sharing their project on your Facebook to your people and stuff like that, joining mailing lists, stuff like that, getting the overall kind of word out on these things is just really, really important. And that's another way you can help, by just spending a little bit of time to help them versus spending money. So that's what I want to say. So that is, again, Love and Taxes is our IndieGoGo Project of the Week. You can go check them out at www.indiegogo.com/loveandtaxes. And I look forward to seeing what else they're going to do with that as well, because, like I said, they've got a kind of an interesting take on the whole crowdfunding thing. So I kind of want to see exactly what happens with that film. They've also raised over 50% of their goal. They have plenty of time left. So. And the good thing about IndieGoGo, if you're a non-U.S. resident, you can donate via PayPal, Amazon, the whole 9 yards. So I mean, whether you're U.S. or not, you have options to donate, and as well as, regardless, even if they don't make it in time, they'll still keep the money. So every little bit helps. So yeah, that's good. And that being said, I think we're going to take just a quick commercial break for us, and we're going to have I guess it's me voiceovered. I'm going to go talk to you guys for a couple of seconds about our good friends over at Final Draft. So we're going to be right back, and when we come back, we are actually we've got a couple things we want to talk about, and we have another trailer that we want to run for you guys as well. So we'll be right back with me. Final Draft version 8 is the industry standard for screenwriting software. With ease of use and time-saving features like Final Draft's Scene View, Index Cards, and Scene Properties Inspector, you can see why Final Draft users include Academy Award winners like Oliver Stone, Tom Hanks, J.J. Abrams, and James Cameron. Final Draft is now even more extensible with its new XML-based file format that can be used to import your script into many other programs. Check out Final Draft 8 now for free over at www.finaldraft.com. And we're back, everyone. We have a couple things that we want to talk about. Obviously, we don't really generally take a lot of time out for ourselves, but I want to take a little bit of time out for us right now. I want to talk about our stuff over at some of our social networking links and stuff. Figure out ways, show you guys ways that you can follow us, friend us, the whole 9 yards. So, what I want to talk about first, obviously, is you guys can go get us over at www.twitter.com/filmsnobbery. If you haven't followed us there yet, you can join a group of well over 6,000 people who are interested in indie film, and you can chat with us there. Obviously, throughout the day, you'll be able to catch our updates as well as when our show is on, who our guest is going to be. Also, look out for the different columns and stuff. We just had some great interviews that just came out from our good friends Julie and Jessica, collectively known as Kings of Fink, for their Peep Show column, and so check that out. That's with adult film director, see, I piqued Ryan's interest over here, adult film director Erica Lust. So definitely check out and read that interview, because that's a good one. And actually, if you want to get a little bit more information on her, you can go to www.ericalust.com. So go to filmsnobbery.com and check out the Peep Show for that. Also, while you're at filmsnobbery.com, check out Retro Cinema by Phil Hall. You might, if you go to go, Phil Hall, I know him. Yeah, you do know him. He wrote the history of independent cinema. He's also written many other books. Also, is a writer for Film Threat. He does their he does a very similar column for them called the Bootleg Files. But it's really cool. I highly recommend you check him out over at filmthreat.com. As well as, if you guys haven't been checking in with Miss Stephanie Stebbins, checking out Down in Front, she highlights different movie theaters and drive-ins around the country. A lot of them are historic, kind of places and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. So definitely make sure you check us out over at twitter.com/filmsnobbery, and of course our main site, filmsnobbery.com. Now you guys might notice, you're like, why are they doing a show on Thursday? Well, Thursday is now the show. So you can check us out every Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're over at live.filmsnobbery.com. If you're watching now, well, you're here now. If you're watching later, well, this is where you can find us later. So definitely be sure to check us out there. And if you haven't already... See, I always get confused at this point because they say fan. I'm used to saying fan. If you haven't fanned us yet, you can fan us over at facebook.com/filmsnobbery. But now they changed it to like, and I don't like that. That's ridiculous. But it's circle/like. I don't like that. You can, but needless to say, you can go to facebook.com/filmsnobbery, and you can like our fan page there. You can also get more updates and stuff there too. Occasionally, especially in the near future, we're going to be running some contests through there, so you definitely want to keep abreast of that particular page, because we've got a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up there. Speaking of things that are coming up, one more bit of news that I want to throw out there. It's that time of year again, or rather the other that time of year again. You might remember back in April we did a First Glance Film Month. It was between March and April, where we did we had actors, actresses, producers, and directors on that were part of the official selections for the First Glance Film Festival in Hollywood. Well, for those of you guys out there and girls who don't know, the First Glance Film Festival is actually bi-coastal. It goes both ways. It was over in Hollywood. Now it's also over in Philadelphia. So right over here on the East Coast. I will be there. It's October 14th through the 17th. And I will be attending that as well, doing red carpet interviews just like I did in Hollywood and LA back in April. So in keeping with tradition, we're going to be doing another First Glance Film Festival month. Rather than interrupt the normal Thursday shows, like our flow, I don't like that. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to actually give them special Sunday shows throughout the month of September and leading into October as the festival draws closer. What we're going to do for you guys is when you guys show up on Sundays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here, same place, we're going to have some great interviews going on with some different people involved in these different movies that are official selections of the First Glance Film Festival. We'll also be giving away some great prizes. Now, the cool part is the more you watch, the more you can win. Because in order to be eligible for the final prize, the big prize, which last time was, it was like at least $1,000 worth of software. In order to be eligible for that, though, you actually have to watch. You have to be a previous winner, and you have to continue watching. So, but it was lots of good fun, though. We gave away a whole bunch of stuff, everything from Movie Maker magazine subscriptions to T-shirts to other pieces of software from Gorilla Pro and Movie Magic and some other great stuff. So. If you missed it back in March and April, you have another opportunity to get in on it now. So that's what's coming up there with First Glance, the First Glance Film Festival. You can actually go check them out. I don't know if it's firstglance.com or if it's firstglancefilm.com. I'm going to have to just double check that, guys, real quick. See, that's the crap part about, let's see, firstglancefilms, plural.com. firstglancefilms.com. So go check them out there if you haven't already. So good stuff. And honestly, one of the better fests I've been to. You know, Bill Ostroff, the festival director, really nice guy. Met some great people there that I've actually run into at other festivals around the country this year too. And it was just it was a good time all around. I know it's kind of sometimes difficult to sit between you know, a couple of interviews with different directors and stuff like that, because it's like, you know, you heard one sob story, you've heard them all. But no, these are actually pretty good, done in the general film snobbery fashion. You notice I don't have a lot of, the only notes I have in front of me are like the show notes, but I don't really do a lot of pre-scripting for questions and stuff like that. So everything I do is pretty off the cuff, and you never know what could happen. So that being said, folks, we really only have one other thing to do in the show. We only have one other thing to do in the show, and what I want to actually throw at you guys now is, actually I want to throw Jerry Cavallero at you guys, because he hasn't talked the entire show, and I feel bad for it, but he did have something to say. I forgot to get him on the line before our guests left, because he wanted to thank them for something, but I want to give Jerry an opportunity to talk to them now. So, go ahead, Jerry.
Hi, thanks, Nick. It's good to actually talk. I actually put it in the chat room before. I just wanted to thank Gary for contributing to Stuck Like Chuck 2 back when I was running the campaign on IndieGoGo for it. He came in late in the game. He found out about it just before we ended, and he contributed and got a DVD. So I just wanted to thank him, and just, you know, looking forward to hearing what he thinks of the film. I sent it to his her package to him soon, and I'm hoping he succeeds with his campaign on Kickstarter. So I just wanted to thank him quick.
Yeah, and if anyone else...
But now they'll have to watch this over to hear the thank you.
Great. Now, if anyone else out there wants to get a copy of Jerry's movie, Stuck Like Chuck, you can go over to www.stucklikechuck.com and possibly email Jerry directly at jerry@stucklikechuck.com. And maybe if you bribe him with, money, he'll send you a copy of Stuck Like Chuck. So,
sounds good.
Now, did I mention award-winning film Stuck Like Chuck? Okay. So there. So that, Jerry, never say I never did anything for you. The floor recognizes Ryan DeSham.
Yes, excuse me, Jerry. I just want to point out, is it last year? Because I just heard Stuck Like Chuck mentioned 7 times. DeLorean, Back in Time, what's going on?
Wayback Machine, yeah. This whole thing, it's Hot Tub Garage.
And on that note, why build a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Why not? What is it going to make it out of, a Cuisinart? Speaking of which, by the way, hot tub time machine, we're getting a hot tub.
Really?
Yeah, we're totally getting one.
Film Snobbery hot tub?
We're getting Film Snobbery hot tub.
Can we film a show in it?
I don't see why we couldn't.
I think the Sunday show should be in the hot tub.
Well, dude, we won't have them by then. Jesus, we're not getting it till the end of winter.
Well, for next time we do it.
Okay, next time. So in April, in Massachusetts.
First day you have that. We are filming FilmSnobbery Live, Hot Tub Edition.
Oh, totally. I'm down with that.
Amazing.
Yes, and I will wear a shirt.
Please do.
Please do. But no pants.
Yeah.
No pants.
You don't see what goes underneath the water. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. I love you. What?
Huh? Who?
Shit.
Moving on. Now we've got one more thing that we wanted to show you guys today. I was actually given an email today by a filmmaker by the name of A.D. Calvo, and one of the at least I hope I'm saying that right, A.D. Calvo. Yeah, there's really there's no other way I could have pronounced that. Anyway, got an email, basically just said, like, we just put out a trailer, was hoping you would take a look at it, give us, let it out there a little bit, give us some feedback. I said, you know what, son of a bitch, I'm the film snob. I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to put it on my show. So to end the show, I'm going to give you guys a trailer for A.D. Calvo's The Melancholy Fantastic. Looks like it's really kind of creepy and really kind of interesting, but I want you guys to check it out. And that's what we're going to leave you guys and gals with this week. And then we will see you next week. We've got some great stuff in store for you. And remember, this Sunday coming up as well, another special Film Snobbery First Glance edition. So Film Snobbery Live, First Glance, this Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ryan, roll the trailer for Melancholy Fantastic, please. Good night, everybody.
Mother died today. Or maybe yesterday. I can't be sure. She used to tell me about a doll she had when she was little. She said it would talk to her. I'm just so glad you're here, because it's been so quiet with just me.
You look so familiar. Do I know you from someplace? Or...
Melanie, right?
You remember my name?
So, who's your creepy friend? Did it say something to upset you?
You should probably go. Stop it! Stop.
Who's this for?
It's for you.
Me?
Why would you do this? That's better, dear. So much better.
Melanie, is everything okay?
You know what has to happen now. Just give me a minute. That's all.
What's the matter?
No.
No, Melanie, wait! Because everything is possible, we can fuck up in all possible ways. You can hopelessly wish for dreams that may never come true, or you can endlessly worry about shit that might never happen.
Can you see me?